Welcome, everybody. So excited to be here with you and to be here with my good friend Ken Lowe to do our personal branding, the media edition. How are you today, Ken?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing, Andrea?
I'm great. I'm here with you. This is so exciting. I love talking about this stuff.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah, we're going to talk about something that I've started doing, and then which is the media piece and getting some quotes in a number of different sites and how I go about doing that. A number of different big magazines and smaller websites, and then Ken's going to show us the magic of how to expand that so it really amplifies your brand.
Yeah, so before we jumped in, Andrea, why don't we just set the background? Like, why are we talking about, the
Yeah,
personal branding and trying to get some press coverage? What are the
yeah.
pros? What are the cons? Why did we just kind of
Cons or no cons? The reason I started doing this is, I started doing it as a solopreneur because, you really want that social credibility. You want people to know that you're an expert. You really like the fact that I can put on my banner on LinkedIn that I've been quoted in Fast Company and I've been quoted most recently. I'm pretty excited about this US News and World Report and Entrepreneur. I've had my name in a number of different publications that people can recognize. So that social proof is super important for people to recognize that you're an expert in an area. And this, I say that as a solopreneur, but it's also valuable for anyone in their career, no matter, if you're a professional in, a 9 to 5 job, you just want people to know that you know your stuff, you know what you're talking about. So that was my thinking when I first started doing all this. And yeah, we can expand on that. I don't want to hog the conversation, Ken.
Mm. Well, I just watched a show that just kind of came out a couple of days ago. It's called Industry. It's on
Ooh,
HBO. It's about a bunch of investment bankers and having the professional and not so unprofessional stuff happening. Really spicy. And but the latest is the season 3. The first
uh,
episode just came out and it's talking about everyone is at the edge of getting laid off because it's coming from the top,
mm,
and it's nothing personal. It's just a cost structure, stakeholder values kind of thing, and
yeah,
is not available. So I think the best defense against it is just
yeah.
doing some branding. And so there are times, actually there was a lady doing some she was like probably influencer. She was doing some influencing on the floor, on the trading floor ahead of the office hours, and then she was getting some flack about it. But like, how many times have you encountered like your company is like, oh, Andrea, you're just writing a lot on the social media, what's going on? How do you counter that?
Oh, so in that regard, I mean, for something like this, I think this is, we were talking about this. The nice thing about, and we'll talk about how I go about doing this, but these are just quotes. So these are just, quotes, in terms of your expertise. So it's a little bit different than influencing. You're really doing things and you want to keep professional, obviously. This is about your brand. This is about, your potential in your career. And as Ken just pointed out with a new television series that I'm just probably going to binge watch later, you want to be ready in case there's a layoff. You want to be, I hate to say this, but unfortunately, this is the time we're living in. So you want people to be looking at you. You want people to be thinking, oh, he's an expert. That Ken Lowe, I saw him in Fast Company. And quite frankly, that happened to me a number of years ago. I got a consulting contract. I had written something for a couple of things for entrepreneur.com, and I was able to point the company to that. And they were able to see, first of all, what I write about, how I write. And they were also, it gave me credibility. So in terms of countering it, though, you really do, this is your brand. So you don't want to put anything out there that you think might be bad for your brand. And quite frankly, most of these quotes, they're looking for something smart and professional anyway, but you
Hmm.
should be thinking about what you're writing about when you put it out there into the,
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense, Andrea. So I think like first of all, it's like you're leaving these digital breadcrumbs everywhere and it's
Mhm.
permanent. Once you hit that publish or post share button, it's going to be there permanently, whether you try to delete that or not. It's still going to be there forever. And I think you alluded to the searchability, the discoverability of
Mhm.
your name and your brand, because I think we did a couple LinkedIn Live events, and then we put that on the YouTube.
Yep.
We, Jenny, our SEO expert, has been doing some optimization as well, and lo and behold, when you're looking for AI personal branding, and then our names came
Yep.
up, like not maybe not on the very top, but like we were like near the top, and it was all because we have deliberately put this kind of branding. And then we're going to be talking about this later on in this in the demo. Is like from the whole finding which submission to be quoted,
Mhm.
to getting quoted, and then how to repurpose it
Yeah.
using all this automation and AI technologies that are available to really accelerate the process. Because, I mean, honestly, a lot of this, we're doing it maybe, in the evenings, maybe over the weekends when the work-life balance kind of like, on the hang. We can't really, be doing it full time. Yeah, so
Yep.
finding a optimized way to do it without impacting the rest of your work performance and your life performance is very important.
And to that point, Ken, doing the quotes, I used to write articles, and it's super hard to get an article published. But these quotes, if you get chosen, I mean, the downside of the quotes is anybody can go on these sites and submit their quote. And so there are a lot more competition. Well, there's a lot of competition.
Mm.
There's a lot of competition for the articles, but it's quick. We're talking about 2 or 3 paragraphs at most,
Hmm.
sometimes even less than that. So, you're just writing, something quick about what you know. And then to Ken's point, you use the AI to optimize, which I'm looking forward to his demo as much as all of you are, because I don't optimize what I do as well as I can. And,
Mm.
this is the game right now. And particularly somebody like myself who has a very common name, I'm competing with people who have the same name as me, as well as the whole world of, coaches and consultants who do similar work. So when I put my name in, I'm seeing the LinkedIn Live I did with Ken, because Jenny is such a great SEO expert that, that's what's popping up. But the concept is, how do you get your name out there in a smart
Hmm.
way that really demonstrates what you do best?
Great, great. Well, why don't we kind of like go down the journey a little bit now that, okay, we are convinced that we need to be doing this personal branding and start this, journey, this game that is like a long-term game.
It is a
So,
long-term game.
yeah. So, what are some recommendations you have for us to identifying, where to find these ideas, how to respond, how to do the selection? Give us some ideas how to strategize it.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things. I mean, and again, I am sticking with the sites that are free that I can just go on and, pitch what I know. So for me, and there may be more out there, but the ones that I used to use Harrow, Help a Reporter Out, but that's been taken over by Cision, and I'm super lazy, and I no longer get the email alerts, and I haven't figured out how to do it on there yet. I look every now and then and haven't seen anything. So mainly I focus on featured.com, who, they're really great. They've been super helpful and just great about reaching out. And lately, they've actually been sending me articles that they think I should pitch, which is really helpful. I just pitched Fast Company again, thanks to them. So you get 3 free articles with them that you can pitch. And then you
Mhm.
can go in there and you can search the keywords around what you know. So that's typically what I do for them. And for Quoted is the other one, QWOTED.com. I think you get 2, maybe 3 free ones with them too. And
Mhm.
again, I'm doing this all for free. It's not costing me a cent to do it, just costs a little bit of time. And then once I get Ken's helpful hints, I'm just going to just get my name out into the universe even more broadly. But it's not time consuming. It's a simple process. and it's free. So, my thinking is why not? And, over the last year or two, I've gotten, myself published in over 2 dozen different formats. Lately, I've been focused more on the bigger names, just because I want more visibility, but there's still value in getting onto websites. And
Mhm.
even that, when I look at the websites, I'm trying to niche a little bit so that, I'm going into subject areas underneath my own subject area. But, I've spent a lot of time, I do work in HR. I've gotten on a lot of HR websites, a lot of
Mhm.
career things. But, I've been, as I mentioned, Fast Company, US News and World Report, the New York Post, Entrepreneur. I can't remember what else, but all that for free. So it's out there. You got to do a little bit of work, but not a lot, and just get clear about your special sauce, or as Ken likes to say, make it a little spicy, and just find something that's a little different. Because when I look at this, I think about, okay, there's somebody writing an article, and usually these articles are asking for quotes from a bunch of people, but they want different perspectives.
Mm.
So, find something that, will help you to stand out a little bit.
Okay.
Again, keep it professional, but stand out a little bit.
Wow. That's amazing to be able to, like, within this 1 hour or so, 50 minutes left, we'll be able to, like, power your personal brand with all this, secret sauce. I mean, like, this is
Woohoo!
really, really exciting. And, to be able to, you know, help people,
Yeah.
start from nothing or being this constant analysis phrase to, like, getting to the next step and getting out of the door. So I do want to ask you this spicy question. I've been,
You knew you'd get the word in there at
yeah,
some point. Go for it, Ken.
yeah. So, I think both you and I gotten this email say, well, you pay us a couple grands a year for this private membership. I won't
Oh, I
name
thought
the
you weren't going to
name.
go there. Okay, let's
Yeah,
go there. Okay, yeah.
I thought I say let's be diplomatic, and then I forgot about it
Yeah,
because
because
I
I
think I
wasn't going to
fell
be
asleep.
diplomatic, but I was only going to do it for
Oh,
you. Go for it. Yeah.
well, I think I fell asleep in the middle of that thought. I said, wow, that's so yawning. So, well, what are your thoughts
You
on
know,
pay to play?
I think if you have the money for it, it's fine, if you
Okay.
have enough disposable income. But again, to your point, it's a couple of $1,000s to do
Mhm.
that. And, you're guaranteed placement when you do that, and you're guaranteed support, and, you get the visibility. And depending on who the audience is, they may not know that it's pay to play. So
Mhm.
the objective is really just to get the visibility. The objective is really to be seen and thought of as a thought leader in some subject area. So, I think it's fine. I just don't want to spend the money on that. And there are other ways to do it without spending that money. The difference is obviously I'm getting a quote as opposed to a whole article now. But, there's value in both. And it
Yeah.
just depends on what your budget is for these things.
Uh-huh. Well, I think, having or being scrappy, being resourceful, uh, pretty much have your hands tied. Sometimes it gives you additional creativity because you have to. I mean, you
Yeah,
just don't have the huge deep pockets to splurge. And then, that could be a very interesting way, and particularly, hopefully, with some of the boost in
yeah,
the life cycle that we will be talking about in a little bit, we'll be able to kind of augment and amplify your reach just from one quote.
yeah.
And, I don't know, the proof is in the pudding. I think we are trying that ourselves. We're just learning just like everybody else at the same time. So I think, we love to kind of share our lessons learned and battle scars and along the way.
Well, I always learn when I spend time with you, Ken. So I was looking forward to this as much as I'm sure everybody who's out there is looking forward to it.
Hmm.
So, and also to that point is, even if you're doing the pay to play, you still want to augment it. You still want to,
Hmm.
repurpose the content. Because again, I guess that's the other piece of it too, in terms of time saving and going
Okay.
back to what you said about work-life balance. You just want to have it in as many formats. Because you said that to me after I got quoted the last time. Oh, you can put it in here. You can use it for this, this, and this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah. And then that's how this all got born, was out of that conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Okay. Uh, then why don't we talk about, like, so we have decided not to shell out. We're going to be resourceful because of this, because we don't have the budget yet.
Yeah, yet.
Um, yet. But like, how should we get started?
The simplest way to get started is get onto feature.com, get
Hmm.
onto quoted.com, go to Cizione.com. Again, I'm not as familiar with that as the other two. Those are
Mm,
the two that I've had success with. And then when you go on it, you'll see they have all the questions, and it basically are reporters asking questions.
hmm.
Usually, sometimes I've even had a journal article published through Quoted. So I was in an HR journal through Quoted. So sometimes it's even bigger pieces than that. But they have different things that they're basically putting out there that they're asking for
Hmm.
different kinds of comments, different kinds of, well, full articles sometimes. But you go on there and you look and you say, okay, what is it that I know best?
Okay.
What are the keywords surrounding it? So for me, it's usually around HR,
Mm,
leadership, career development,
okay.
things related to, or some of the global stuff that I love to talk about. Maybe a little bit of the AI stuff, but it's figuring out what your expertise is in, and then once you sign up, and again, it's all free. You just go
Mm,
searching for it,
okay.
and then you respond to the questions.
Yeah.
And it's yes, three for featured, I think two for quoted. The one thing I will say, just just so you know, like sometimes I get quoted and I don't even realize,
Oh,
and they don't.
how rude.
Well, and I don't blame the sites. They're not being told necessarily by the reporter. So you just need to keep an eye on it too, that, you know, and I have an alert. I have a Google alert for my
Yeah.
name.
Hmm.
But again, it's hard for me because I have such a common name. But you want to pay attention if you do this stuff, whether or not it's actually getting into the media, whether or not you've
Yeah.
been quoted. But yeah, it's so simple to get started. I mean, the barrier to
Hmm.
entry is almost non-existent. That
Okay.
said, you probably, you won't get a lot of them. But it's what, 5 tries a month, and if you get a couple of them, then to Ken's point, you can just leverage the crap out of it and really get a lot of bang for the buck, and
Hmm.
you know, use it to your advantage.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Well, I just noticed there's actually a comment.
Oh,
So
sorry, I'm busy chatting away.
no,
Thank you. I'm glad you're paying attention.
yeah, no, I think, we forgot to remind, all of our audience, maybe just the two of us, all of our audience on this universe, that there is this chat function, or you can comment it on LinkedIn Live, depending how, if you're doing it on YouTube or some other platforms, you'll be able to ask questions. It's kind of like AMA kind of thing. There will be
Yeah.
questions that are, off boundary. Obviously, we're all professional, but if so,
Speak for yourself. Yeah.
let's talk about this. Are there any common mistake I should avoid when building my professional personal brand? What do you think, Andrea?
I think, I don't know if there's common mistakes, but, obviously the biggest mistake, and it's going back to what we said in the beginning of this, who do you want to be, how do you want to be seen? I guess maybe the biggest mistake, and I'll admit I'm a little bit guilty of it too, is going too broad. What is it that is your special sauce? What is it that you're the subject matter expert in? What
Hmm.
what are the things that you want to be known for, and really to really try to focus on that. It would be one of the things I think people do tend to, get a little, particularly now. There's just so much out there. It's easier
Hmm.
to get lost.
Yeah.
So keep it focused.
Okay. Very,
Unlike
very
that
good.
comment.
Yeah. Well, so personally, I've always I love living dangerously, kind of like on the border, and I remember being professional as much as I can, but I think it serves yourself by talking something that you feel passionate about,
Yeah.
and I think it has to be aligned, congruent with your core values. Like, I'm a speed demon. I love racing bicycles and whatever, that even you get arrested, you wouldn't be jailed for too long. I mean, you're riding a bicycle, you're going like 50 miles or whatever, right? At most. So not too reckless. So anyway, it has to be something that is a trifecta. Like you want to be having your personal professional brand. You find your niche, which we talked about last time we met. But it also is something that you feel like I can write about it for a long, sustainable amount of time because it's such a long
Good point.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if we're talking about something that I feel like forced to do it because it's potentially lucrative, but I probably can't see myself doing it, then that's kind of like knocking some points off.
Yeah, one of my favorite things, I don't remember who said this to me, but don't become good at something you hate. And unfortunately, I've done that, and it's painful to your point. This is a long game if you do it right, and if you can really do it right, like you have, and I'm finally doing.
Mm,
You're working on something that you really love doing, so it's like
mhm,
it's easier. And even to the point of these quotes, you really, again, you want to have some level of uniqueness in them so you can stand out and be chosen. And I think it's easier when you're passionate about something and
mhm.
you're always looking for ways to get better at it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Okay. Well, we are about 20 minutes in, and I think I'm really excited about what we've learned so far already, Andrea. And I think the best is yet to come. We got this,
I'm looking forward to your
yeah,
presentation. So
yeah. I'm just delaying it, postponing it because I'm
you
just kind of a little scared. Is
you're
that
you're in a safe audience. Do you want me to put it to the main stage?
well? Before we even do that,
Okay,
I do have another question. Like,
go for
okay,
it.
you've convinced us, you've shown us, the pathways. Um,
Showing you the
what
light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what are the real tangible benefits and how do we maximize them?
Well, I mean, to go back to it, I mean, the tangible benefits again, I mean, you go out, there are, particularly for me, there are a lot of Andrea Millers out there. It's a
Mm,
sad fact. I wish I could go back and tell my parents to give me a new name. But you go out there and I have, you Google me and I have a lot of credibility now. I have a lot of different sources where my name is mentioned
mhm,
along with them. I mean, again, top of the list right now is doing the LinkedIn Live on your YouTube channel, thanks to Jenny. But, it really does give you credibility. And it's also on my banner on LinkedIn. So anytime anyone goes to my banner, they see I put like the
mm,
bigger names on my banner of the ones that I've been published in. You again getting that social proof. And, you never know who's going to be reading these things. So if it
yeah,
connects with somebody, you really can potentially get clients from this. And, again, I sort of got
mhm,
one through some of the work I had done in the past. So,
amazing.
there's real benefits. And also it helps you clarify your own thinking, when you're doing these things.
Yeah.
What do I think about this?
Uh-huh.
And then even if you don't get quoted on it, using what Ken's going to show you in a few minutes, you could still turn it into a blog post or a newsletter article or whatever else and still get visibility or do a LinkedIn Live or a YouTube video and still use this content. But, it's an idea generation process also. So it's not only, well, the quoting is great. And
Yeah.
I won't lie, that's primarily why I'm in it, so that people know my name and know that I have something to say on the subject. It
Mhm.
doesn't only have to be for that.
Okay. Great. Well, I think I'm like doubly
Are you
convinced
sold?
right now. I'm just like more than sold.
Okay.
More than sold. I'm just really,
Because
really, I'm really,
I've already
really,
sent you one article that you could contribute to. Like when I see things from my friends who I think it's better for them than me,
yeah.
I like to forward these things. But and that's another way you could go. Have other
Uh-huh.
people paying attention. We also talked about the potential for AI automation around this, but that's for another talk. Um, would you
Well,
like me to go center stage with your presentation? Are you ready?
Well, no, I'm still postponing it, so don't call me out. But like you mentioned this AI, right? So it's
Mm,
polarizing topic.
yeah, yeah.
Now, what do you think the role should be
We've
when you're
talked
doing
about
these
this. Yeah,
posts and articles
yeah.
and things like that? What's
You
ethical? What are boundaries?
You have to be really careful with that. I will never, ever send in a full AI quote to a publication.
Yeah.
First of all,
Mm,
they probably can sniff it out if they want to, but it's also yeah, it's not my thought leadership,
Mhm.
but it is a great tool for idea generation. It's a great tool for, just making sure the sentence structure is right. Everything I send out, it's my thinking. It's my, because usually when I do these quotes, I'm looking for, you know, different things to pull together, and
Mhm.
that's the thing about AI. You and I've talked about this. Your prompt is only as good as what you put in. So I'm always trying to connect dots, and sometimes that can be a little bit messy
Yeah.
in structure. So I sometimes use the AI to clean up my mess.
Mhm.
But the final product, you're I think you're less likely to get chosen if it's, an AI generated prompt. I mean, AI generated content.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I do want to make sure it has, me all over it, and that means, that it's more real. And I
Mhm.
think they're really looking for that now because there's so much AI generated content out there now on so many levels
Yeah.
that, yeah, you want to stand out, and it's going to be harder to do that just going full on AI.
Yeah. So like we talked about it the past couple events, is like AI it is an intern, is an assistant, it's highly trained, it's very knowledgeable, but at the end of it is still kind of robotic and is
Yeah,
still not very robust, and you can actually sniff it out, and there are definitely many tools to figure out whether it's going to be AI written, with on a spectrum of a percentage. And I think that they're going to it's something like a publishing house. They say, well, we're going to screen that out because just
yeah.
another batch of digital noise that people will be turned off. And I would say I give you the biggest uh, giveaway is this two things: emoji, unnecessarily number of emoji. Another one is this phrase: unleashing, unlocking, game changing. Oh my lord, just
The
run.
other word I really hate is crucial. Everything is crucial in AI. There's always crucial.
Yeah, I'm really curious, like where they exactly getting the training data set from. Is like, is it, Reddit people using that what crucial and game changing that much? It depends which
Yeah.
Reddits they were
But
crawling, not the subreddits that I was frequent.
but to your point though, use AI to support you, but don't use AI for the final product
Yeah.
because they will sniff it out, and
Uh-huh.
they're looking for originality because they want their articles to stand out.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Got it. Well,
Yeah.
I'm also scanning the room in the comments. I think so far we got that one question. I think so far so good. So as move forward,
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a few
remember
more
this.
comments in there to test you, to challenge both of us. Should I put the presentation up now? You ready?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And then I say,
you feeling it?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
feeling it. And
Okay.
so as we move forward, I think like remember this, every tip, every strategy that you hear today is going to be a mini step toward your personal brand into a powerhouse, right? So I think the
Mm,
best thing is like get it going right now. There's no
yeah.
need to stay here to analyze it endlessly. Just be relentless. But that's another phrase from this industry episode. I'm a man.
I'm
I'm relentless.
definitely going to be watching that,
It's
and I'm
so
going to be
intense.
cursing you because I'll waste time on that.
Yeah,
But
but it's still wrong though. But anyhow, well, let's keep the momentum
okay,
going.
let us get going. Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's super easy to get started and to do, but
yeah,
to what Ken's going to talk about, how do we make it even better?
right. So let me get myself oriented here. And I last presentation, I was talking and I thought I was presenting, but I wasn't. So let's make sure that this is working correctly. Okay, good. So I think I can see the slide deck where it says content flywheel,
Hmm.
content framework, right?
Yep.
So effectively, the past 28 minutes or so, we talk about step one, which is finding the submission, submitting it, getting published. And now I think today, let's talk about step 3 and 4 and 5. Most likely, we're going to spend a little bit more time talking about a step 3, which is like you got quoted. Now, how do you leverage that? How do you get even more mileage out of that one piece of content? Right. So I got this is a very long deck, is 2 pages long. So nobody dies from this. Okay. Nobody dies from boredom of
Death by PowerPoint. Here we
yeah.
go.
Yeah. If I'd be pretty sad because like 50% mortality rate with two pages. And so what we talk about here, I want to come. You can see my cursor here. So we talked about using featured. We talked about using quote, which spells
Quoted.
kind of funny, right? Quoted.
Quote with a W. Yeah.
Where does W go?
At QWOOTED.com.
Yeah. When people
Yeah.
say, my name is Christina with a K, I say, where does a K go?
There's always one in the crowd.
Yeah. And then so you will go find your submission, and you look at you get published, with a lot of
Fingers
persistent, a lot of
crossed. Hopefully.
good
Yep.
luck, fast company. As a matter of fact, why don't we show it off? Oh,
Woohoo.
not not
Not
not
that.
this, not that,
Okay.
not this. So this
Oh,
is
here I
fast
am.
company, July 17, which is a month ago. And then you scroll just down a little bit. Whoa, emotional intelligence by who? By this not so common name, Andrea Miller. So that is how, you just went through the submission, you get
Yeah.
published, right? So this is something really good to share beside your mom, your dad, your uncle. Right? It should go more than that. I think you deserve to kind of brag about it a little bit. Okay. So let's switch back to the slide deck. So we will be talking here about using a blog post to kind of augment the influence. The digital breadcrumbs we're talking about, like, Google is a search engine. There are some other engines, AI, that could be competing with it. But for now, Google is still the king and still got the monopoly if you've been following the news. But anyhow, there are tools, many tools, copy AI and all this stuff. But I've been using Type.ai, which is a writing specific AI platform, and I love it because I'm biased. The co-founder and I were neighbors, and before he moved to New York, we were, we took walks, we go to Whole Foods, we buy groceries together. People think that we were gay because they asked us whether we live together. I say, yeah, we live in the same building and whatever. So it was very confusing. And he wrote the predecessor of Type AI in my spare bedroom for a couple months. So anyhow, very, very biased. We'll be talking about that, using it to write specifically blog posts and then to do the publishing. And then the second tool of choice is Artflow. Artflow is a way to be making headshots. So
Yeah.
for example, we got a couple of photos. As a matter of fact, the LinkedIn event flyer,
Yeah.
uh,
That was fun.
that was really fun. And so
Yeah.
Andrea said, hey, we need some professional looking photos. I say, well, none of my stuff is professional. It is barely covered. Anyway, so I went into my old
I won't
collage.
talk about your photos then. I don't even want to go there. But I told Ken about ArtFlow because the other thing, it can get, going back to keeping the costs low, getting headshots can be expensive. So, I was told about artflow.ai and it is just such a game changer. Not only can you make fun photos, you can make professional photos that you can use for your LinkedIn profile, for anything. And
Yeah.
it saves you the costs, the way the AI works, the way, it works. It saves you the cost of going for a professional headshot, and you can turn it into whatever you want. Like, I don't know if anyone saw Ken's Deadpool shot, but that was pretty cool. But it just, yeah, and it does it really well. It's really one of the best ones I've seen. So
Yeah. Yeah, by
yeah.
far. Yeah. So, and then we'll go to this optional step, which you and I have been starting to get into, is like creating YouTube. So you can actually, after you got the quote from Fast Company, you expand that into a blog post or some kind of article, some kind of long form content. But you can actually turn that into a video script. And all of
Now
that
you
is,
tell me. I guess I better go back and start doing that.
yes. So it's pretty, and I'm just like putting some household names there: Claude, Anthropic, ChatGPT from OpenAI. You can use Gemini, you can use Copilot, you name it. There's
Yeah, so many
many
now.
LLMs out there.
Yeah.
But the idea is you already got the good writing. from Type.ai, and then you just feed that into the downstream, which is using another LLM or AI to turn in the script. But all of it, the most critical part of it is the harmony between humankind
Mm.
and technologies, which is number 5. Rinse and repeat. So you look at the output, you look at the metrics, you say, wow, this thumbnail seems to be working pretty good. I'm going to do more of it. This script, this hooks, this sequence seems to be working pretty well. Let's do more of it. This thing, no one seems to care. Let's do less of it. So number 5, I think, is the most critical, that is going to tie up the entire life cycle.
Yeah. Well, the human piece, I mean, again, none of this is really that good on its own. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, you can use the AI for the data analytics if you want to, review it all. But that human piece, again, the secret sauce to it all,
Yeah.
making sure it's you. You don't want to lose you within the AI. As you say,
Mm-hmm.
Ken, it's a tool, it's an assistant. You're the one making it good. You're the one who's
Yeah.
making it interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. So I believe that is the end of the presentation, but there is a bonus. Unfortunately, I'm going to make everybody wait. You're going to finish the
Do
presentation till you get the link. So, but let's jump into the demo, should we?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
waiting for it. You kidding? This is what I'm
Okay.
here for.
Yeah. So now we're looking at the number 3, right? So we got this quote here already published. Very proud. You already told your parents, got a celebration and everything. So I'm going to copy this. Okay. So this is the interface of Type.ai. As you can see, is deliberately very simplistic. And Stefan, the CTO, had this philosophy to make it non-clutter, but yet all the features are kind of tucked no more than one keystroke or one mouse click away. So I'm gonna, I already started doing that, but I'm actually gonna start a fresh new document, and I'm just gonna paste the quote.
I'm so
Okay.
excited about this.
Yes.
You're gonna take care of my content for the month. Go ahead.
Now I kept calling it a digital pen pal because it's such a friendly name, and so you can say, what's the big deal? It looks like a G doc. It looks like even a Microsoft Word. So remember, everything is tucked one or keystroke away. So this is the digital PayPal. You got content ideas.
Huh.
So the important thing is, by the time we paste it, AI, and in this case, I got different models to choose from, right? So I can pick, oops, no, that's not it. Prefer model. What I loved most about this tool is
Ah, it
I
gives you
already
both.
got
Okay.
different model. So
Yeah.
uh, not to have a LLM war, here, but I think creative writing,
Claude,
Claude is a little
definitely.
better.
I
GPT
agree.
is better at programmatic tasks.
Yeah.
If I want to talk about, making a snake program or something, a Pong
Yeah,
program.
it's the workhorse, I would
Yeah,
say. Claude is the more creative one.
yeah.
Just a quick question on that, Ken. So is this the low level, or can you link it to your own account and get the higher level, or?
Yeah, so this is really good. So I don't get monetized by this, but but I did talk to the CEO, Stu, of Type AI. If you guys want to sign up, you get a 14-day trial. But if you want to send me your email, the CEO is gonna give you an additional 30-day
Woohoo, I'm gonna send you my email.
additional subscription. Yeah, additional
Okay.
subscription should you become a customer. So let me just show you a little bit here. So there are two once you become a paid subscriber, which I am. So you can do speed, which is basically, the 3.5,
Okay.
or I forgot the smaller model, which is not the Sonnet on Tropic, but you can do speed, which is quicker. For me, I don't mind taking it more time. The digital PayPal takes more time to think about it. Smoking a pipe in the middle, I don't care. I don't mind. And then this is where the model I kind of show you. So you can, if you're writing a more scientific journal that you need to be more clinical, I might use GPT, but I want to sound more of like a creative person. I typically do Claude. Okay.
Good.
So let's come back here. Now, I show you the digital PayPal, right, which is context aware. What it means is already reading, okay, they know that this is the title. And again, this can be rewritten or something, but these are all the suggestions that you should be doing next.
Huh,
So
this is
if you
great.
somehow run into a writing block, that is how you can unblock it, right? There are more suggestions. And again, it's all of it is analyzing this and doing it context aware. So
Hmm.
very, very neat, very customized. But I think the money shot is this,
Yeah, show me the money, Ken.
the type chat.
Huh.
So I got it here. Again, still context aware. And this is where I say, well, um, let's write a blog post and I'll say, 300 words
Hmm.
for now. And again, this is not a good prompt. It's very ambiguous, but I got some spec there. It's a blog post, is 300 words, which is more or less, you can probably get that. 300 words means what? How many characters? You see the confusion. You see that it's not very precise. But if I want to say 3,000 characters, it's a little bit more precise. But anyway, most people would probably like, casually write a prompt like that. But let's just go with that for now, right? For time's sake. And we are using Claude. We're using Power, so it takes a little bit more time because it's a slightly larger LLM. So it does a little bit more of a thinking, and also it depends on the traffic. If
Yeah,
there's a lot of
it was a little cranky this morning.
yeah, right now it's 10:41 Pacific, and it's like
Prime
afternoon. So
time.
it
Yeah.
takes a everyone is working using AI to work, and look at this. I got the output, which I should make this
So just
true.
a quick question on this. So you were talking about the prompt. Do you use the same kinds of prompts that you would use for a regular Claude model or ChatGPT model where, you give it a role and you give it more context and or are we just dependent on the type AI to kind of come up with the content for us? I mean, how much context do we need to give it, I guess is really the question I'm asking.
Yes, really good question. So first, most of the LLMs, they think they claim they're unique, but once you're able to get the prompt technique done, is universal. The roles, the tone, the limit, and all that stuff, you can do it all in one shot, or you can just do it iteratively, but it's the same. And what they have here, and it's about to show you, is there's some custom. They is called transformation, and I'll show
Hmm.
you just a little bit. And
Yeah,
it's
so I
one
want
of
to make
those.
sure we get to art flow today because that is
Yeah,
super fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
So please, somebody give me with the time. So we got this here, and
Okay.
again, it looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna I can copy and paste it, but I want to just kind of put it in here. Okay, so it got in here, and this is where pretty much the writing assistant, the pen pal, has handed you a draft.
Hmm.
And I'm just looking at it. You got bullets,
You got
you got
subheadings.
bullets, you subheadings, which is
Perfect.
very important. If
Yep.
you go into the SEO, you should have one big title, you should have some subheading, you should have some subheadings. So this looks pretty easy to scan, which
And
is yeah.
sorry, Ken, go on. Well, I was gonna say also for LinkedIn newsletters, which all of you should be thinking about creating a LinkedIn newsletter. It doesn't have to be every week,
Mhm,
but they get a lot. It's kind of like YouTube in terms of the magnitude. You have the force of LinkedIn behind you when you put something on LinkedIn as a
mhm,
newsletter, and plus it'll go out to your whole opportunity to get subscribed goes out to everybody who's in your network. But to Ken's point, you can do subheadings on there too, which help
mhm.
optimize your articles. So there's a drop down feature in the LinkedIn newsletter to do headings and subheadings. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Great. Well, so I'm just scanning the clock. Is we got 15 minutes left. So I'm just going to quickly show you this transformation that we talked about.
Yeah,
So
please.
say that, we look at this, we don't like how it's worded or something is funky about it. So there's some pre-built transformation,
Hmm.
improved, shorten, lengthen, fixed
Huh.
grammar, simplified, enhanced readability. It's a
That's
default
nice.
setting, right?
Yeah.
But what if I want to do some custom stuff?
Huh.
So I say rewrite. copywriting benefits. So don't talk about features, talk about benefits. That's my custom prompt. I already saved it.
Interesting.
LCA, this is the LinkedIn collaborative article. So there's certain format. So I want to
Huh.
make sure that it's not longer than 750 characters and stuff like that. So I already got it saved.
Finding out what Ken's doing behind the scenes. This is great. I'm learning. I'm learning. Go on.
Yeah, combine abstract. So like, I got this long piece of paragraph, or this long writing. I want to abstract that into 100 words or 100 characters, all that stuff. And like LinkedIn commenting, so I don't do that anymore as much. I have to say that for public. So I would copy the post that I want to do some commenting on, and then I would just use this save transformation, and it's going to give me some suggestions on what I could
This is
provide as a
really
feedback.
cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, great. So let's jump into this art flow. So again,
Woohoo,
art
fun.
flow. I got the opportunity to actually speak with the CEO, Tim Jan, and he was very excited about what this could be done. And so the idea is to help with personal branding. Okay. Oh, great! I just finished training a new person. So
Oh, it did
what
finish. Okay, good.
yeah. So the idea is I already provided a couple of my headshots. Again, those are professional ones. The only professional ones I can find in my album, and
But
about
you
five.
don't need to do professional, just a little addendum. You don't need professional shots. You can just have somebody take, I forget how many you need to give the model so it can come up with a headshot for you,
Yeah.
an avatar for you. But you can just do that with your iPhone at home, and it'll create your person, your image that it'll transform. So
Yeah, it's a very good point. We can actually look at the interface a little bit. I think I'm maxed out, but basically, if I come
goodness,
in
what are you
here,
doing? You're maxed out. They
yeah,
give you, and the other thing to say is, they're very generous. They give you a lot of free opportunities, I guess with the watermark on it, but still you can play with this for quite a while before you max out. Not quite
yeah.
sure what Ken's doing.
Well, I'll show you the
I
output.
can't wait I can't wait to see it. I really
Yeah.
can. It's fun. It's super fun.
So this takes a little bit of time to do. So this is not a lot of difference between Mid Journey, Dolly, except the output is just spot on. So there are some other characteristic. You can change it to portrait. Let's just make it a portrait, and you can do all this different ratio stuff. You can do the template, but I'm just going to do a quick demo. Say, well, Cashmere is my fictitious name. Dressed in a pinstripe suit, um, jumping on the table in a boardroom. Okay, so I don't know why I need this kind of photos. Maybe there's some kind of presentation I'm about to do. So this is kind of like, there are other parameters. You can make it ultra realistic. You can make it like pixelated. There are different styles to choose from, right? Now, what I really appreciate that is a what is the other way? General. That's just director mode. So if you want to do a quick one, this would do. But you can actually go into this. This is what's amazing about Upload. I want
So Ken,
a
just a clarification, are you using
yes.
the free one or are you using the paid one now?
This is a free tier, and
Okay,
the
so I can
CEO
use
actually hooked me up. The
but you
the
can do the director mode in the free or
Yes, correct.
okay.
That's correct. That's correct. So I can actually change, my body position. I can say I want to do a half. I want to do a three quarter.
I'm
I want
learning
to
new things every time I'm with you. Here we go.
do
So cool.
sizing. So let's do something like this, right? And then background, it will be a what is that? Old school uh, private equity firm. Okay, again, making stuff up. So I'm going to generate. It's going to cost me some credit, but I've been granted by the CEO with a bunch of credit. So this is going to take a little bit while, and then I think it's going to give you 4 versions, right? But meanwhile, I want to show you some finished products. Okay,
Yeah.
so uh, oh, this already came out. It got
Oh,
added.
but that was us because you have the paid one, right?
Yes.
The
So
thing about the free
mhm.
tier, just a couple of things. So, I mean, it's great. I think it's amazing they do this, but it does take longer when
Yes.
you have the free tier. And so you have to have some patience around getting your cashmere, your model together
Right.
takes hours, the first one. And then the other photos, they
Mhm.
take a little, but not that long, just a couple of minutes. So,
Yeah, and then there's some advanced features. You can actually make, text to video and text to clips, things like that, which I think is, well worthwhile. If you're thinking about a subscription, which is actually very economical compared to finding a videographer,
mm,
photographer, is a no-brainer. So I'm just gonna show you a little bit like
I
this
think you're
was
going to need to do a separate art flow one for us, Ken. I'm just,
yeah.
I'm just putting that out there because I'd like to see it, but.
Yeah. So I got some prompts here. I think I was lacking some professional looking photos. But this was someone. I would say I was frustrated, so the tie was off. This one was like I'm an outdoor person, which I'm not. This one is like I'm a successful person, which I'm not. This one is more realistic. It's like, I'm a bad boy, reform bad boy.
Is Deadpool. There we go.
Yeah, the movie just came out, I guess, with Wolverine. So I was just playing around with that, and this one actually got into some of the thumbnails, some of the
Yeah.
collateral that we were using. So it was all just sitting at home in my pajamas, creating professional looking portraits. And let's just go ahead and take a look at the progress here. I don't know what's going to be done here yet. Okay, as it's doing stuff. So I'm going to go back to this presentation here. Okay, so uh, this is some formatting techniques, right, that you can do. And I already created some photos that I show you using Upflow. So I'm going to create some feature photo to make it a little bit more engaging. So I'm going to pick something here. Andrea, do you have any input? Like what it should probably should like do a wide photo. Do you
You
have
do,
any
you
pick?
do whatever you want. I'm just learning myself, so it's
Yeah.
all yours, Ken. I'm,
Okay.
I'm
Well,
just like a member of the audience right now. What?
we're talking about emotional intelligence. This is so reflective of you.
When I talk about emotional intelligence, when I get photos, I always that's not the picture I look for, but I always talk about it in terms of, working in an office, working, with other people,
Mhm,
just the ultimate goal is for people to enjoy their work, for people to be more engaged in their work. And unfortunately, it's not the case, but
mm.
not always the case, I should say. But that is when I do emotional intelligence, it's having people together collaborating, working together, taking the time to listen to one another. Those kinds of things are what I do when I do the photos for my emotional intelligence articles.
So I don't know that the picture does the justice. So
That, I
let's
mean, that's a different form of emotional intelligence.
yeah. So let's add another one to kind of
I'm getting a
bring it.
lot out of the emotions you're putting off in your Deadpool shot. Yes.
Okay.
Don't talk to
So
Ken.
let's do this. Have buy one get one. So you get two of these. So anyway, you can go crazy here. I'm not a designer, and I'm not no intention of doing that. But we got this article. What do you think is the best way to get it out in the public? How do I get this blog post, right? They're always Substack, Medium, LinkedIn, all this stuff. But I don't have time because I'm
Yeah.
about to go to lunch, right? About to go to liquid lunch. So let me show you a secret.
Go ahead.
This
I'm
is a
all
brand
ears.
new feature. The
Cool.
Stu, the CEO, just sent us an email about it. So published. Okay. So there are a couple of features here, but I just want to make it a blog post. I want to make it in intelligence. Nope. What is that? Emotional intelligence. And this is where you can go in some SEO techniques and things like that by Andrea Miller. Okay. So that's going to be the URL. I want to hit published. Okay. Just like that. Before even I got a chance to order my beer, we got it. We got this thing published with the marketing collaterals that we created using AI in your pajamas, in my pajama, at least. Me in my pajama, you in your pajama. Okay, so that is step number 3, which is creating the blog post. Now, turn
Can I
this
just
in.
add one thing in, just because you mentioned it?
Yeah.
Medium. I just got published in an article for a Medium subsidiary called Authority Magazine, and that's
Uh-huh.
also, and the reason I'm saying this, mentioning this, is because it's also at the top of my feed now. So Medium, and you had mentioned Medium to me, Ken.
Yeah.
I think it's underutilized as a way to get your name out there. So
Yes.
just saying that. Now back to our show.
Yeah. Well, so those are the some uh, assets that they got a high domain authority,
Yeah,
and by if you get published by them, uh, either paying or non-paying, you still get the boost. I would also augment that by clicking two buttons. Now I have a blog post, and you can actually everybody. I'm gonna put it in the comment here. Oh, I can't comment it, but like if somebody, Jenny, maybe can put it in the comment, you can actually see it until I remove it as a test. So I want to show you guys this. I really make it live on the internet, right? So that is a very condensed, quick way to show you guys how to go from finding the quote, getting quoted, and now amplifying it using the uh, a blog post. And we didn't talk about social media, link, YouTube, and all the other stuff yet.
that's a future LinkedIn Live that we're going to do, right?
That's the future LinkedIn Live. Yes. So let me. That would be 10:56. We got 4 minutes, so I'm gonna show you.
Ooh,
So what is
bonus.
this? What is this bonus about? I think we talked about some of that previously. So LinkedIn collaborative article. These are AI generated topics, and then they got subtopics. People can chime in and contribute and interact with it. And I'm not saying that you should be spending a lot of time doing that, but I think it's a free way to find topics to write about. So say that you want to talk about AI and personal branding, you can probably find some articles using the LCA library and then contribute to it. And
Yeah,
once you do that, don't stop there. Turn it into Medium, turn it into a blog post, turn it into YouTube. So this is the very beginning of it,
using Type AI.
using Type AI and upload
Yeah,
and
exactly.
many tools. So how do you get this checklist? Uh, you just by you can scan the QR code. You can also do this. And by the way, this is I'm launching a Maven course, just talk about launching a AI business, actually launching a new business using AI with very little budget.
I hope there's going to be a friends and family discount, Ken.
There will be a friend and family discount. Yes, absolutely. Yes. So reach out to me, scan the code, sign up. People that sign up, they will get priority VIP access.
Yeah, I think it would so be worth it. Every time I talk to Ken, I learn something, and he has a great way of sharing content, as you probably found out today, that's just accessible even for somebody who's like technically on the low end, like myself. It is super helpful to have people like Ken to work with, and I think I'm looking forward to this class.
Great. Thank you.
My
So
pleasure.
yes, yeah. So the
Oh,
the the link also there to sign up for the checklist is also in the comments. So we have about 2 minutes left, and we're kind of on time for once. I am actually. uh,
I'm very timely.
yeah. So well, I'm again looking at the scanning of the comment section to see if there's anybody from the audience. How about you, Andrea? Let me stop sharing so we can see
Okay.
our beautiful faces.
Let me remove this. There we go. Oh, lovely. No, this has been great. I've learned a lot, Ken. So thank you. I was looking forward to this as much as anybody else in the audience because I'm not leveraging the things that my assets as well as I should. And
Mm,
and it's something I think about a lot. We all have limited time, and when we're able to find tools like the ones you've showed to help us
mhm,
leverage these things and take them further, it just helps us stand out more. And it's a really crowded marketplace. So you
mhm,
really want to get as much content out there, but it has to be good content. So again, going back to what you said earlier, keep the human in the loop. Don't just, I just saw something recently about AI being used in the job search process. It was in the Financial Times. And they can tell when they said they're getting bombarded by people putting out bad AI generated stuff.
mhm,
You need to like take a critical eye at anything you're putting out there, particularly when you're applying for a job, and make sure that it really passes the sniff test. Is it good enough?
mhm,
is it something you'd want to read?
Yeah.
Is this something, if you saw it, you'd just say, oh, that's AI. Oh my God. I think I'll flip and go see what Ken put on his site.
Mhm.
You really want to make sure that you're putting good stuff out there and
Mhm.
getting enough out there so that you stand out in the crowd.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah. Well, I think it's amazing. I mean, in over a span of 59, well, in 60 minutes, uh, we're able to talk about the tools. We're able to talk about the framework. You got everything
A
you
couple of
need.
bad jokes, with the full.
The bad jokes are on the house, and but they're
Yeah, I
mandatory.
know, it's
Yeah,
mandatory. Yeah.
I'm here just to crack the bad jokes because there's some built-in audience, you
Yeah,
know.
well, I'm right there
But
with you.
the idea is like, we got everything you need. You don't
Yeah,
really have to, go through this big commotion and analyze that. That is a framework that's already made for you. So I urge everybody to go out there and leave a good impact and start branding yourself.
yeah. And it's free and it's simple. And that's the objective of today, was to try to keep it as simple as possible without a cost to you, just a little bit of time, and just, leverage the hell out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree. Yeah,
Well,
great.
yeah, thank you all for joining us today, those of you who are out there. And if you thought it was useful, please share it. Please let your friends and family know that, this is worth paying attention to, because I don't know about you, but I got a lot out of being here today and just listening to what Ken had to say. And hopefully what I've done with my uh, quotes and everything else were useful for folks too. So,
Amazing. Thank you,
yeah.
Andrea, for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. This is so, so fun. Thank
Yeah,
you.
awesome. All right,
Okay.
take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.